This is a day I've been waiting for a long time, and the reasons are many. It's a gangster film, it's a film specifically about Al Capone, and most importantly, it's a film led by none other than Tom Hardy. Mr. Tom Hardy, as you may or may not know it, is one of my all-time favorite actors. Top shelf, nothing but love and admiration kind. Some of my favorite performances of his include
Andy Lowden.
and also
Fuck your face, yeah? Yeah? And fuck the fucking lot of you as well. What do you think of that? Hey?
and many more, if not the entirety of them. If we don't count one episode in the 5th season of Peaky Blinders, it has been a pretty long and dry stretch of no Tom Hardy, pretty much since Venom, and the second part of Venom is gonna be his next movie after Capone. Taboo is taking like almost 3 years to come out with the second season, but it is slated to do that at the end of this year. But today is a great day for Tom Hardy fans, as Josh Trank, the director of The Chronicle and the pretty controversial Fantastic Four, is back, effortful and more independent, together with Tom Hardy showcasing the doom and gloom of a gangster in his twilight hours. Capone is an interesting movie, to say the least. It's as unique as it is overplayed, as serious as it is hilarious, as deep as it is surface level. Part beef-lick, part nutty, borderline arthouse oddity, kind of stuff that always jives well with me. Whoever's looking for some bizarre joy, this is a good source. 47-year-old Alphonse Gabriel Capone has come home after 10 years in prison and is spending his last months rotting away with dementia and physical problems caused by neurosyphilis. As he becomes worse, the line between reality and delusion gets blurred and past demons come out to haunt. Josh Trank may not have come back with a knockout, but Capone proves skill on his side, as well as effort and dare. Instead of reimagining the multiple times told most famous endeavors of Al Capone, Trank chooses to depict the decaying dawn of the notorious gangster, trying to tackle the heavy themes of morality and mortality. Hardy and Trank seems to be very much on the same page, for the script and atmosphere goes hand in hand with the performance when it comes to gloom, somberness and misery. There's a good share of fever dreams, messy psychology, confusion, devices which, sadly, shouldn't play such a big role in being a substitute for plot. Trying to differ in the niche of gangster epics and going deep in the mentality behind a morally corrupted man in suffering, Capone loses touch with many important elements of a movie, puts too much focus on gangster's physical decline and struggles to pinpoint its comment on the morality behind him, sometimes feeling bleak in favor of pointlessness. Capone being a little lost in itself is not as compelling as it hoped to be, and it may not make you feel good for the man, but it does succeed at making him human. Despite the fair amount of flaws, every one of them feels counterbalanced with a goodie or another. It is undeniably entertaining and interesting seeing a gangster movie dipped in a different kind of sauce. As a movie about the dawn of a gangster and what such a person experiences and goes through, it is unfortunate for Capone to come in the shadow of The Irishman. There aren't that many movies specifically about the ending part of a gangster life, and these two happen to be recent, and The Irishman in that matter is much more focused, clever, and way less flawed. The last point of bother regards to previously said as serious as it is hilarious. There were moments when I was thinking, is there a bit of parody at play, and is it self-acknowledged? The dramatism, but mostly some of the method, madness, grotesque antics of Hardy's Capone can raise eyebrows. Personally, loved it.
My regal robes of the forest!
I heard a guy saying how Hardy, in a way, could be the next Nicolas Cage. And here's the thing, I don't know what your thoughts on him are, you can leave them down in the comments. But Nick Cage is, I think, an underappreciated actor. Definitely better than people make him out to be. He's a crazy guy. I love and admire him. I could talk about the whats and whys and hows, but my point is, when I heard that comparison, I was like, yeah, I can see that, I agree, but not with the view that guy had. He hated both Hardy and Cage. But both of them put like I don't know, a similar kind of energy, madness, and flair into their roles. Like, as far as I'm concerned, it's the good stuff, the stuff I can never get enough of, and I'm always excited for any movies these guys make. Cage has the career he has, but basically a talk for another time. Capone, as scripted in this vision, is a challenging role, and Hardy naturally gives it his all, if perhaps going on in it without any functioning breaks. I feel like overall somewhat overblown appearance of the movie as a whole cannot be blamed on the lead performance though, because the script really was mostly about that, going mad, appearing crazy, feeling confused.
Boss?
Oh, yeah.
The rest of the cast, though with such names like Matt Dillon, Kyle MacLachlan, Noel Fisher and Linda Cardellini, is given very little to do, with the most probably going to Matt Dillon, whose The House That Jack Built has impactfully changed my whole view on him, and for the better. In this specific sense, Capone reminded me of Joker, and how the whole focus of them is, if compared to most movies, on a singular character and by a huge margin. Nevertheless, not one bad acting performance in both of them. Another thing Capone has going for it is the cinematography, consistently solid, well composed, and not the department it feels like a B movie in. I also very much like the original score, very subtle, low, rumbling, lurking, and in symbiosis with the atmosphere goals of Capone. Capone is probably the most flawed movie Hardy has led since 2008's Bronson, and maybe not counting This Means War. But in Capone, everybody is so full in on it, very importantly including the director. Josh Trank and Tom Hardy are the standouts in Capone and what truly makes Capone. And the attempt at this script it's bold, it's an extraordinary character study with a very flawed execution. But it entertains and it gives Hardy a playground to go mad at. My rating 7 out of 10. And I believe a rewatch will be granted.
You sound like a dying horse. Well,